Good evening, and I welcome you students for important revision lectures. And as you see on the screen, students, we are talking of P block elements. You have seen students S block, P block, D block, and F block. How many blocks are there in the periodic tables which we are keeping you student? How many blocks you see in the
Uh, Four.
in the sorry periodic table students? We have S, P, D, and F blocks. On what basis do you say there are S, P, D, and F block students? What is the basis of the?
Sir, on the basis of the fact that last electron goes into which subshell? If it goes into S, then it is S block element. If P, then P block element.
The last electrons enters in the outermost. The important point. Last electron enters in the outermost student. In the outermost orbital. If it is p orbital, then it will be p block element. Now this is important point, student. What we have been, the reason we studied electronic configuration, because we said there will be a close link in the electron configuration and the physical and chemical properties of the elements. And what we will be looking forward, student, the valence shell electronic configuration. Number one point, student. Number two, we are always talking of valence shell electronic configuration. In every group, we are talking the same story. What do you mean by valence shell electronic configuration, students?
So the electronic configuration of the outermost valence shell.
There will be some inner core also,
Yes, sir.
and that may vary, student. That can vary, student. ठीक है? And this will also influence the physical and chemical properties of the elements. Important point. The first thing which we look forward always is the electronic configuration of the elements. Any group I study, student, we are looking the electronic configuration, electron distribution, first shell, second shell, third shell, and that's how we have given
Yes,
student
sir.
group number, period number. Now the question is, when I write p block element, student, that means the electrons, the last electron is entering into the p orbital. P orbital. The last
Yes,
electron
sir.
is entering into the p orbital, students.
P orbital.
How many p orbitals are there? How many p orbitals you have, students?
We have six p orbitals.
Six p orbitals. There are no six p orbitals. I said how many orbitals are there? Only three p orbitals are there, student.
Acha, orbitals px, py, pz. Yes, sir. Three.
And you are aware of them. Their shape is also aware. Dumbbell shape, electron distribution,
Electrons.
2px,
Yes, sir.
2py. They are at perpendicular to each other, students. There are three p orbitals and total number of electrons will be 3 into 2, 6 electrons, student. Therefore, students, if you will start with ns2 np1, where it will go, student? ns2 np1 to 6.
One,
Last will be
one, two,
6.
three.
So students, what you find, how many will be there student? So if I have, you have seen this is the part of the periodic table. This is group 1, group 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Therefore, students, you are having group number 13 to 18. Period. What is the story of the period student here? Fine, take the period. Period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 periods. So group 13, as you see, to group 18. And these elements are your P block elements, students. P block elements, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is the purpose of showing different color students? There must be some difference, student, when I see the colors. Important point, student. Here you have group 13 is boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine. Last is neon, students. And helium is exception because helium has only one S2. It doesn't have any 2p. Here you have 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p like this, ns, 2, np1, 2, ns2, np6 students. So you have the last electron entering into the p student. You have seen this color student, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. They are being shown in this blue type of color. What is the meaning of this student? What type of elements are these students? Aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, tin, lead, bismuth. We are talking about metals, students.
Mhm.
Metals. You have metal students, and you are having neon, argon, these noble gases,
Noble gases.
black student, and also you have black, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, black,
They are
fluorine. What are these?
non-metal.
Non-metals. You have
These are non-metals.
non-metals student in dark gray color, metals, and you have metalloids also student between metals and non-metals, metalloids having properties between metals and non-metals, metals and non-metals. Boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, metalloids student, halogens, noble gases. Therefore, student, there will be great variety that you will have metals, non-metals, as well as metalloids in these elements. What do you have, student? You have metals, non-metals, and metalloids, which are present in the P block elements. So boron, carbon, nitrogen, fluorine families, in addition to noble gases. And noble gases are unreactive because they have P subshell is completely filled, students. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Interesting thing is that in the p block element, last electron enters the outermost p orbital. Clear? The number of p orbital is 3. Maximum number of electrons can be 6. That we know.
Six.
There are 6 groups, therefore. How many groups? 6 groups are there, students. And 13 to 18, 14, 15, 16, 17. Group 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. Carbon, boron, and helium, the valence shell electron configuration is important. Valence shell because here is the reactivity, how they react. Student, what type of oxidation state they will show. Valence shell electronic configuration. Every group we are talking loudly about that. NS2, NP126,
One.
except your helium is 1
Helium.
is 2. Okay. All right, student. Here some information is available which we will be discussing in this boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, and you have neon. And what type of oxidation states you are seeing? Group 13, group oxidation state. When they write the group oxidation state, students, does that equal to the number of electrons, valence electrons? Group 13, 13 minus
Yes, sir.
10, 3,
Minus 10.
14 minus 10, 4, and 15. If you write, you have, if I take plus 3 plus 4, and general, you can say maximum you possibilities is this. It may or may not happen because of the energy requirements. Maximum possibility is there, which we call as a group oxidation state. Whether it will show or not,
Okay.
that we have to see how much energy is required for such a oxidation state. Ultimately, you want to remove electron, student, then you will provide, have to provide energy. Who will provide the energy? Not me. Those compounds are being formed, lattice energy, hydration enthalpies, or when other compounds are formed, the coming groups, they will promote the electrons if possible. So generally we are expecting in boron, carbon, nitrogen, the group oxidation state is more stable for lighter elements in the group. And you will find, for example, if I have group 13 students, which is my boron family, then you have boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium students. And what we will find, you have NS2 and P1 students. So we are expecting plus 3 oxidation state if the 3 electrons are lost. If these do not take part in bonding, then plus 1. So plus 1 and plus 3 basically are expected, student. And you will see that in such cases what happens, which oxidation states are shown and which are stable will be discussed. But one important factor which will be there in p block element, students, which will be discussed, will be inert pair effect.
Yes, sir.
What is inert pair effect, student? The two electrons of the s orbital, due to poor shielding of the inner orbital, student, d and f, they may be strongly attracted or by high effective nuclear charge, and they can become inert. Say when they become inert, they do not participate in bonding and they will become inert, student. So that could be the due to the D transition metal effect, or F, if the 4F or 5F. So there is a screening of the 3D D effect or F, when the F orbitals will be completely filled 4F. In such cases, it will happen. That is why we said the inner core of electronic configuration will also influence their physical and chemical properties. The diversity can be seen, student, in these, because you are getting metals, you are non-metal students and metalloids. Where are those students? More electronegative elements will be on the top students. And as you go down the group student, what will happen? You will, there will
Electronegativity
be,
decreases.
yes, the metallic character will be there, students. So, and what type of compounds are expected, students? Non-metals, don't want to lose electrons. Their ionization enthalpies are higher, students. And metals are those we can readily form cations, metals. And they can lose electron, students. And when metal and non-metals form, mostly they are reactive and ionic type of bonds, and non-metals are there. When non-metals combine, the bonds will be mostly covalent, student, that will involve sharing of the electrons. So also the change from non-metal to metal will be shown by the oxides. Non-metal oxides, and then as you go down, metallic oxides. How they show the metallic to non-metallic? Metallic oxides are acidic or basic?
Metallic oxides are basic in nature.
Basic oxides. And non-metallic will be
Acidic.
acidic. So you will get acidic to basic and neutral, or in between you may get amphoteric oxides. So as there will be change in the acidic to amphoteric, neutral to basic oxides. Therefore, we are expecting all this, and important point will always be there in P block, students. What important points are coming? In P block element, student, you are saying that non-metals and metalloid exist only in P block. Metals, non-metals, metalloids, and what you are getting down the group, metals, and on the top you are getting non-metals. And students, when metals and non-metals combine, they are ionic bonds, and when non-metal and non-metal, student, they will be mostly covalent compounds. And metallic oxides, basic, non-metallic oxides, acidic, and then you may have amphoteric and neutral oxides, students. We are going to experience this in the groups of this. And metals have lower ionization enthalpies. Non-metals, have higher ionization enthalpy. Certain general trends are already familiar to our students. Important thing that the first element of the P block, student, will differ from student remaining members. Why? So it will show unique anomalous behavior, student,
Unique
that will
behavior.
be of interest in the exam. So if you have a small size, high charge,
High electronegativity.
high ionization enthalpy, and important points will be there. And one more thing which is there, absence of d orbital. So their maximum covalency could be only if they have only S and P. This is our second period. Maximum covalency could be 4. But as you move from second to third period student, you have 3S, 3P and 3D vacant. So then they can expand the covalency student covalency. You have BF4 minus and you have ALF6 3 minus. So you can see the expansion of the covalency students in these cases. These are some of the ways questions are put up in the paper. Yeah, this will happen in every group and every period. Now the important question comes in the formation of ability of the smaller atoms, smaller atom students, first member to form multiple bonds. How the multiple bonds are formed, students? If the size is small and you have electrons in the p orbital, student, what they can do? You can have p pi bond formation, student. P pi multiple bond. This is very important, student. Very important. For example, carbon can form, student, double bonds. Carbon oxygen, carbon triple bond, nitrogen, students. All this are you are aware of, student. So the multiple bond formation is important. Such a overlap of the p orbital will be only possible in the mainly two p orbitals, because they are small and the overlap will be good overlap, effective. The more the overlap, the stronger the bond, student. As the size of the p orbital will increase, they will become more diffused, and then the multiple bond becomes weak, and then such bonding becomes weak. The heavier elements, for heavier elements, student, the heavier elements, then what they have, student? They they have d orbitals, and they can go for d pi, p pi, or d pi bondings. But these are weaker, student, because the size is larger, and when the size is larger, the overall overlap is smaller, student. Overlap of the orbital is less, and therefore the stability of these is less, student.
Okay.
So they are
Okay.
weaker bonds, they are less stable because the overlap is poor. As the size will grow, they will overlap less. The more the overlap, the more it is going to be their, students. Further, students, as you see the oxidation states where there will be formed, student, and the question of higher oxidation state will require larger amount of energy, student, and is
Okay.
usually formed with highly electronegative elements, which can provide that energy for the promotion of the electron, students. And that we see with the oxygen, where such possibilities are there, like fluorine, oxygen, or highly electronegative elements. So here is a general information about what we are going to see in the p block elements. Okay. Now what we have, student? We already said p block differs from remaining members of the corresponding. First is the size and other properties which depend on the size. The first element is always different. Important difference applies only to p block from the effect of d orbitals in the valence shell of the heavier elements and their lack of in the second period. The second period elements of p graph starting from boron are restricted to maximum covalency of 4. That we already said. So the first element only has 2s and 2p. So when you go first this element, this is the second period element.
Okay.
And when you will go to third period, then what will happen? You will have 3s, 3p, and this 3d vacant is also available for participation in the bonding. And therefore, here maximum covalency 4. 2s, 2. So you have electrons, they can either form covalent bonds or some electron pairs are donated. That will be coordinate covalent bond, covalent or coordinate covalent bonds. That's all. This is always an important point, student, the multiple bond formation, pi bond formation, which we already said, carbon double bond, carbon triple bond, nitrogen. Nitrogen is a gas, and the lower elements, phosphorus, nitrogen, phosphorus, P4. And carbon tendency to show catenation is very, very unique due to high carbon-carbon bond energy. And size of the carbon is very small. Multiple bond is being formed. And as you go to heavier elements, then you have d pi, p pi, or d pi, d pi. D orbitals are of higher energy than p. They contribute less to the overall stability. The d pi bonds are weaker, student, as compared to p pi bonding of the second row of the element. That is the second period elements. This affects the stability. Important compound is, student, the very important element is boron. It was discovered in 1808 by Humphrey Davy and J. Gale. So see, the boron is very rare element, and occurs mainly in the form of orthoboric acid, H3BO3.
Okay.
Borax. Borax is Na2B4O710H2O. Boric acid, orthoboric acid. H3BO3, student, orthoboric acid. Borax. Borax is very important. Many times they ask the formula of this. We will show you more information about it. Na2B4O7, student. It is in present in Ladakh and Rajasthan. Abundance of boron is less than 0.0001%. So see, the abundance is very less. And two isotopes, 11 and 10. Aluminium, the most abundant metal. Aluminium is the most abundant metal, I am saying. Abundant metal, student. Points to be noted, because sometimes, in the objective type, they are asking such question. Aluminium is the
Okay,
most
sir.
abundant element. Ammonium is the most abundant metal. Ammonium is present in so much percentage. I will give four choices. It is not the most abundant element. It is the metal. See the difference. If I put a question and most abundant element or element, there is a difference in the two. One word will be
Okay.
shifted and the trouble starts. Instead of metal, if I write aluminum is the most abundant element, then it will become wrong. Got my point?
Okay.
See, most abundant, we are familiar. Therefore, aluminum, the most abundant element, is a wrong, student. In reasoning and ascertaining, what they do, They will change one word only, and the problem will come. Which is the most abundant element? You know, which is the most abundant element? Is not the aluminium, but metal, of course, it is. Third most abundant element in Earth crust. It is the third most abundant element, not the first one. 8.3% by mass after oxygen. 45. Oxygen is the most abundant element. Oxygen. How much?
Okay. Current element.
45.5% student by mass. After that is Si, silicon, 27.7. And the chief ores of aluminum are bauxite and cryolite. Okay. Sometimes why do we give these information, students? Because that's nowadays the trend has been changed, student. There are questions of objective type, reasoning and assertive, and the choices are
Yes, sir.
very close to each other. One word is shifted. They look same type of answers. So if we don't pay attention, then there will be serious error in the paper.
Okay, sir.
And pure boron exists in at least four crystalline modifications. Closed cages containing 12 boron atoms are arranged in the form of, student, very important, icosahedron. Icosahedron, student. It has a icosahedron structure. That's why it is very hard. Boron is very hard, student, because it has many various allotropes, student. In various crystalline forms of elemental boron, at least 5 allotropes whose structures are icosahedrons, students. Icosahedron. Each allotrope connects the icosahedron in different ways. Less than 0.01% in earth crust, found concentrated in certain areas. See now, earlier the question was put on the formula of the borax. What I showed you just now, borax. What was that, borax, student? This is not the actual formula of borax. It shows 10 water molecules. See the,
Yes, sir.
but what is the actual formula? This is the actual borax, student. See,
Okay.
they will give when the paper, student. Now this is confusing. It there are only, you see, 4 B4O5 OH4 and 8H2 are outside this. There are not 10 water molecules here. Crystalline water molecules are not 10, 8 only. Where are the two? They are inside, student. So borax, we have shown now this formula, Na2 B4 O5 OH4 and 8 water molecules. Kernite is another, student, in which boron is obtained. These are in the crust of the earth. Colomanite. Sometimes then give the name, student, that boron can be obtained from. Now they'll give kernite. Now student don't know what is kernite. So that is why we must know something is important. We give the information, which can be a question,
Okay, sir.
student. Here you see how many borons are there in this. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's what we said in that. Closed cages containing 12 boron atoms. 12 boron atoms. The name of this is icosahedron. Icosahedron. That is why the boron is very hard substance. So students, we are discussing group 13 elements. What are those, students? Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium and thallium. And if you see the electron configuration, student, electron configuration, boron, aluminum, gallium, indium, thallium. We are going to discuss, we always discuss the electronic configuration and few important properties of these. Important question which was asked has been kept here. Where is the gallium? See the gallium. What is so important about gallium? What is it known for, student? Gallium. Here is see something very important about gallium. What I have shown here, student. What is the melting point of gallium? Gallium, student. Ga
303 Kelvin.
303 Kelvin
Kelvin.
means minus 273. How much?
Mm,
0,
30.
30 degree
30 degree.
Celsius. So at room temperature, student, in summer it can become liquid. Gallium. If you put in your hand, student, it will melt. And what about the boiling point, student?
2676 Kelvin.
So it's very high.
Very high.
Then what is the importance of such a element, gallium? High boiling point, 2676 Kelvin, very high. There is a large difference in the melting and boiling point, student. Important point. Large difference in the melting point and boiling point of which one?
Gallium.
Then it becomes a question for the paper. Because it becomes useful for measurement of temperature, students. High temperatures, if you want to measure, the boiling point is very high, student. It will not boil. So certain measurements of temperature requires high temperature, student. In some cases, then this will be important point. So
Okay.
some properties are important somewhere. Okay, students. Or the electronic configuration, students, if we are discussing, here you have boron. What is the atomic number of boron? Boron.
5.
What period is this? 2. So you
So
are
where
taking
1, 2, 2.
1s2, 2s2, 2p1.
1.
What is the next? Aluminium. Period number 3 means 3s2,
Period 3.
3p1. So what is 1s2? Helium. 2s2, 2p1. What will be this? 8 neon. And after that, boron, aluminum, gallium. What is the period number? What is the period number of gallium, student? What you have got? 5 and this 31.
Mm.
Add
2, 3, 4.
18,
Gallium is
31.
4.
So
31.
what you are going to get, student? 4s2, 4p1,
Yes, sir.
and then you have 18 helium, neon, argon. How many electrons? 18 plus 2, 20 plus 21. Then what happens? 3d10. So the 3d10 is filled now here. As we said, the when inner Inner orbitals will start coming. What will happen, student? They will influence the physical and chemical properties. And further, student, beryllium, gallium, indium, period number 5, 5s2, 5p1, student, helium, neon, argon, helium, neon, argon, krypton, 36 students. And what will happen if you add 49? So 4d10 students. So what will be the effect of the filling of the D transition metal effect? D effect, the effect of the filled 3D subshell, student. We will see this effect as we have shown here. So here you have 3D10 student, 4D10, and then last one you see the 4F. 4F is filled student in this case. So when you go from here to here, there is both D and F effect. What is that? F effect is a lengthenide, and D contraction and F contraction. What you could see, student? D contraction comes where, student? Where 3D is completely filled. So there is a poor screening of the D, and when
Okay.
4F will be filled, student, what will be that? Lengthenide contraction, poor shielding of the 4F effect will be there. What effects we are seeing anywhere, student, here? Let us see the atomic radius. Boron to aluminium. See the important point. Boron to aluminium, student. Atomic radii. In picometer, 88, 143. Increase, ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Picometer. Aluminium to gallium, 135. Now the problem comes, student. What has happened? The size decreased. Size decreased, student. So aluminium to gallium, student, the size has decreased. Why the size has decreased, student? Then is a question in the paper then. Why the size has decreased, student? What is the reason, student? What we told you, student? We have told you the effect of the 3D10
In
subshell
Okay, inert pair effect.
due to the poor screening.
Inert pair effect.
I'm not saying inert fair effect right now. I'm only talking of size, student. Where in size?
Okay. Okay.
Size due to poor screening of the 3D completely filled cell, the effective nuclear charge becomes more, student, and it
Okay.
attracts the outer electron more towards itself. Therefore, what we see, student, here deviation, the atomic radius of gallium, atomic, what do you find, student? Atomic radius. This question has been put up in the paper. Atomic radius of gallium should be more than aluminum, but it becomes less than aluminum. Such variations are observed in the presence of the 3D completely filled 3D 10 electrons are there, they will screen student. The effect of the 3D
Okay.
10 is there. The screening of 3D is poor student. Poor screening effect for the outer electrons, but the increased nuclear charge in gallium. Therefore, the atomic radius of gallium is less than aluminium. This is a question for the paper. Explain atomic radius of gallium is less than aluminium. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Poor screening effect of 3D. Further, then again, as you go, the new shells are being added, so size should increase. But here again, the size increase is very little in the last case, because again, what you have 4F, the 4F screening is poor. Therefore, you see almost slight increase in the size. The effective nuclear charge, with as a more shells are being added, we are expecting increase in the size, but effective nuclear charge becomes stronger than the size decreases. And that depends on the screening of D and F. Both the D and F effects are observable in the case of the group 13. In the case of the group 13. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So atomic radii, you have seen only one variation in gallium and aluminum. Gallium, and sometimes when other questions are given, they will give the order of the sizes, 4 choices. Order of the choices, 4 choices, students, increasing or decreasing. The only point to be noted, what point you have noted? The atomic radius. What was that? What do you have? Atomic radius here. Order of the atomic radius will be a question in the paper. You have boron is less than, boron is less than, what do you have? As you go down the group, the sizes should increase. Sizes should increase. And this boron less than aluminium, and then gallium. Gallium is the exception here. So the correct order: boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Is that the correct order?
Yes, sir.
Actually, this should be here. This should be here. But that is the only change.
This should be.
Order.
This should be yes, sir.
So they will give 4 such choices to you in the paper. They'll reshuffle and ask you the order of atomic radii, because these such questions are put up, student. They can be prepared by anyone. The order of atomic radii, increasing or decreasing. The only thing which we found was gallium and aluminium.
Aluminium.
Here, that increase was very small. The D effect and the F effect are operating. Okay. What is happening to the ionization? There are 3 ionization enthalpy, student. First one, what is happening? 810577. Again, as we know, when we discuss ionization enthalpy, student, we have told you one thing: ionization enthalpy is inversely proportional to atomic size. General rule we said. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
And it also depends on the electronic configuration, student. If somewhere stable configuration is there, like half filled or completely filled, then again there will be some variation, because then the removal of electron will become more difficult, more energy will be required. General trend is this: inversely proportional to atomic size. So we expect, and here again they can ask you the order of the first ionization enthalpy. You see 81 it decreased, then here it slightly increased because the size became less. And then what happens as the size increases? And again in the last you see there is slight variation in the size, so ionization energies. And second one, ionization energy, removal of second electron to decreasing, and then small, and then this third ionization. And you see the boron third ionization energy is very large. Important point. The third ionization energy of boron is very high. Therefore, boron students, third ionization energy is very high. First plus second plus third very very high for boron student. Therefore, boron will not form 3 plus ion. It does not exist. It will form covalent bond student, covalent. You won't get B3 plus, will be very, very large amount of energy is required. And that you don't have that much energy student. So it will not exist student, small size and high ionization energy. B3 plus ions is not going to exist student. As you can see the high ionization energy. So whatever discontinuity are observed are based on the size, and also the poor screening of D and F. The sum of the first three INFR, each element is very high. So this will affect the chemical properties. In general, you know, delta 1, delta IH1 plus delta IH2 plus delta IH3. These ionization enthalpies are high students. Therefore, it will be difficult to remove the 3 electrons students. Difficult to remove the 3 electrons from them. Okay. What else we have here? The density 2.35, 2 point density increasing down the group student. What is the density depends on students. Mass per unit volume.
Mass per unit volume.
The mass increases more than the volume, then density usually increases down the group. Density usually increases down the group students. Okay. What is the density of the water? 1 gram per centimeter
1
cube.
gram per centimeter cube.
So this is two more than that, student. Water. They are denser than water, you can see. Melting points, you can see student here, boron has a very high melting point. High boiling and melting point of boron is due to the structure which I have shown you. What
Okay.
structure I have shown you for boron student? Icosahedron. 12 boron atoms are there. The structure of boron you will see student is very, we have shown it typically, which is the cause of the high melting points of the boron student. So boron is non-metallic, extremely hard, black colored solid due to very strong crystalline lattice student. Question was put up in the paper student about boron. What I am saying student, boron. What is the boron student? Extremely hard. Extremely hard and many allotropes. We have told you there are 5 allotrope students. Okay, very strong crystalline lattice. Strong crystalline lattice students. That is unusually high melting point. Unusually high melting point students. What is the structure? Icosahedron. Structure of the boron you have seen. So low other metals are soft and low melting, and high electrical conductivities, and whereas boron does not. And gallium has low melting point, very exceptionally could exist in liquid state during summer, a high boiling point, and therefore used for measuring high temperatures. Densities
Okay.
are increasing down the group, students. Densities are increasing down the group. What else we see here? What else you are seeing here, student? Density melting point important for boron, important for boron. Related to the structure, high ionization enthalpy of the boron also there. Electronegativity, what is happening to the electronegativity? Decreasing down the group. And electronegativity values are low, student, as you can see. Their electronegativity values are low. 4 is the Pauling scale for fluorine, highly electronegative element, oxygen, fluorine. And E naught values, what are the E naught values, student? Minus 1.66, student, minus 5. What it means, student? M3 plus, that means aluminum can act as a reducing agent, student. Al3 plus. Al3 plus is minus 1.66. The negative reduction potentials, we have told you how they are obtained, student.
Yes, sir.
Sublimation energy, ionization, and hydration enthalpy, student. The sum of these three. When we find the sum of these three, students, then only we are able to find that. Okay? So
Yes, sir.
what we find in the electrode potential value, aluminum can be a reducing agent here. Aluminum. Aluminum can be the reducing agent, student. So students, the general electronic configuration, ionization enthalpy, electron negativity, melting points, boiling points, and exceptional behavior of these, and certain physical properties of p block elements, especially we are talking of boron family, have been discussed with some important points and questions. And we will continue more about this next time, about their chemical properties and oxidation states, etc. ठीक है?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Then I will meet you in the next class.
Okay. Thank you, sir.